Hello everybody, today I'm going to be doing a little review of my 2022 Surron X Light B. This is the hottest electric bike for this year, and I think everybody who's riding a Super 73 is going to hop onto one of these, because I definitely did. So starting out, this is going to be similar to an electric dirt bike, because that's what it is, but it's classified as an electric bike. It's going to have no pedal system, but one can be added if desired. The bike is capable of up to 50 miles per hour depending on rider weight. It's super easy to get that modification done to go that 50 miles per hour. Right out of the box, the bike is going to be only capable of 30 miles per hour due to regulatory safety issues and all that. And I could show you really quick how to get that 50. Take the key out the ignition, gonna put it in the battery. Hopefully I can do this with one hand. All right. It's gonna have two little cables, A, B. You're gonna unplug this cable and you're gonna unplug this cable. This wire comes attached together in the form of a loop. You've got two green wires. You wanna make sure that you're focusing on the one that's attached into one piece like a loop. You're gonna snip that with a pair of pliers. I put electrical tape on mine so wires don't touch, and that's gonna unlock your full speed potential. And now that we're here, we'll take a look at the battery. It's a 48 volt battery, fully removable. Just a little strap to take it out. I know a lot of people like to upgrade to bigger batteries for more performance, more speed. I'm not really looking for that. 50 miles per hour on this thing's already sketch as it is. I don't want to go much faster, but that's an option if you'd like. This is the charging port on the battery. Super safe and secure, and you can put in your charger in here. It clips in that groove, if you can see. There you go. And it's got a little dust cover that I should put on. So then we're gonna be closing this, and from the top you can see the battery's charge levels. I like to keep my battery between 30 to 90%. I don't like to take it past 30% because it's not too good for the cells, and I don't like to go to 100% unless it's absolutely necessary. Then we're gonna take a look at the seat back here. This is an OEM Surron seat. It's pretty wide and comfortable. The material is grippy, but not the best. I would maybe upgrade to the Cycle seat, which is gonna be a lot more cushy, and it has various materials that are more comfortable and more quality. Then here's a little piece of controversy on this bike, the rear fender. It barely covers the tire, as you can see, so if you're gonna be going into water, mud, rain, whatever it is, chances are you may get sprayed by it. Maybe in the future, I might modify this to an extended fender to cover my tire, but more on that later. It does have a little fender down there too. Then we're gonna look down here, and here is where we can see our little light for nighttime. It's a red light, and also we're gonna be able to see our big fat shock. This shock is super powerful, 450 pounds. I think it's adjustable, I'm not too sure, kind of new to this stuff. And along with that, we're gonna come down here and take a look at the second piece of controversy, the pegs. These pegs are definitely not comfortable. They're really small, and they make the riding experience kind of awkward. I'm gonna be working on getting a new set of pegs and fitting them onto the bike. I'll probably make a video on it in the future. But yeah, it does look like you guys can put them in different positions too for rider height and all, so you can make it more comfortable, whatever your preference is. Then we're gonna focus on the kickstand. Super sturdy kickstand, doesn't move up and down when you're riding it hard. And the best part about it, it's got a sensor. So when it's down, your throttle doesn't work. Like, let's say you're moving the bike around and your hand slips on the throttle, it won't launch into anywhere. So you got that added security. And then we're gonna look back here. We got a nice little brake set. These are rotor brakes. They look really powerful, really strong. I think they're 4 pistons. Please don't quote me on that, I may be wrong. And then this is gonna be the same setup up front. Just wanna focus around here so you can see. Really nice set. The bike does come on 19-inch wheels. 19s are pretty nice. I know a lot of people like to change these up, make them more like dirt bikes, and sorry about that. You could put a smaller wheel in the back and a bigger one in the front to make it more of a dirt bike ride type, but I don't think I'm gonna be doing that. it's already pretty fun as it is. Then we're gonna look at the drive system. It's chain driven on a nice big sprocket in the back. Of course, it's held by chain tensioners to make sure everything's nice and tight. And you do have the option to do a gate driven system, gate belts, if you have ever heard of those. They're pretty nice. They're gonna be a little bit more reliable when it comes to, you know, long-term durability. You're gonna have to replace less, but everything will wear out regardless of what system you have. And then we're gonna take a look up front at the forks. Forks are pretty beefy. They actually do a really good job of handling all sorts of terrain. I've yet to take it off-road, as you can tell by the fresh lines on my tires, but these forks are really nice. I'm about 225 pounds and it takes me really well. I don't feel any bounciness, I don't feel any stiff bumps, and it's a really nice setup in my opinion. I'm not sure of the brand of the forks. Maybe they're called Fast Lace, I'm not sure. But I know Surrons do sometimes come with different forks, and some people like them, some people don't. But I'm super happy with mine, very comfortable. And like a dirt bike, it's got the motorcycle style mounting system with a nice fat axle right here, so you don't have to worry about anything breaking. Then we're gonna look at the fender in the front. Front fender got pretty good coverage. I would say it's optimal for whatever condition. I know you can change that out pretty easily, but that's up to you. And lastly, we're gonna come around here and take a look at what I like to call the cockpit. So you're gonna be met with some nice cushy grips. Think maybe like basic mountain bike, BMX grips, nothing special. And on the left side, you're gonna find your display. Your display, I'm gonna put in the key in the ignition so I can show you guys. Ooh, that exhaust though. So your display is going to show just a few basics. It's going to show your speed. It's going to show your mileage for the trip. And with this red button, you can see your total odometer. And I believe you can see your max speed. I may have reset it. Yeah. But you can see the top speed you've hit on the bike. And you reset by holding down the red button. Then we're going to be looking at a nice little button I like to call turbo mode, also sport mode. This, when you flip it on, the bike's going to be much torquier, and it's going to allow you to reach those top ends of 50 miles per hour. On the regular mode, when you put it in here, it's going to be pretty nice, but not as much torque. I would recommend this for like riding in shopping centers or whatnot, trails with people around. Sport mode's probably going to be in a more open, comfortable area like this. You can do whatever you want here, really. And we're going to be looking over here at the horn. This is really annoying. I don't recommend you do it to people, but in the case that a car is about to hit you or something, listen. And then we're going to be taking a look here. I believe this is the back brake. Back brake is really responsive. If you ever need to slam, do this one, not this one. That'll send you forward flying. Now that we're on this side, we're going to be taking a look at the throttle. I believe it's an electric throttle, not a cable throttle. It's pretty responsive. I know there are options to change them out for more responsive ones. Maybe I'll do it in the future. But so far, so good. It's a twist throttle like any regular bike. And as I was mentioning, right now we're on the kickstand. And if we want to twist the throttle with the key in the ignition turned on, it's not going to go. That's a safety measure added by Surron to make sure that your bike doesn't fly. And then up here, we're going to be seeing the stem and the handlebars. I know a lot of people like to change these out to like pro tapers. I'm fine with these, but they're very mountain bike-like, and they are, of course, adjustable to whatever position you need. And here we have the adjustment areas for the forks to add more pressure or less pressure, depending on rider weight and different sorts of terrain. And we're going to come around here to the front end and take a look at the headlight. It's not really my favorite thing because you can't turn it off. So you're going to ride around during this bright sunny day with an LED headlight, sucking the life out of your precious battery. But there are options that I'm going to be talking about in some future videos. It's a pretty strong light, and I would say it's going to be able to light up what you need when you're riding in cities. I don't know about off-road though. Then lastly, we're going to be taking a look at what it's like to ride the Surron X. So stay tuned in for a nice ride. Alright guys, now we're going to be testing out the Surron X and seeing how it does on different types of pavement. We're going to start out with what I like to call my test trail. This is a basic trail for bikes and people walking around. Now the Surron X does a great job here. It doesn't lose its traction whatsoever. You still have the power, you still have the grip, and the best part is you can transition from somewhere like this to concrete. So what I like to do is basically just choose where I'm feeling like. Usually depends on the people around me, if there are dogs around me or whatever, and if it's empty I like to ride on concrete. But at any given moment I have the ability to transition onto something like this grass here. And the best part is the bike has so much power you don't feel a loss of power, unlike other electric bikes which kind of become a little bit slow when you get them into grass or dirt. But so far this bike has been handling all terrains very well. So here's one of my favorite things about this bike, the ability to be safe. Right now I'm riding on eco because there are people around me, but as soon as I see the opportunity to go on my own and be away from others, I can flip it over to sport and go enjoy myself. And that's what makes this bike so awesome, because I have the ability to adapt to any situation without giving up power or giving up safety. As we can see, we're back on the dirt trail, we're ripping it with confidence, it's got traction, we got no issues at all. And you're able to really adapt to an empty area or a busy area within a matter of a button switch. So that's the best part, in my opinion, about the Surron X. And right up here, we're going to look at a situation that people show up without an expectancy. This, on my end, I should have been going a little bit slower, but thankfully with the eco mode, I'm able to slow down, and also with regenerative braking, it makes it easy. As you can see, people aren't too startled that they're seeing a bike. The Surron X doesn't look too much like a dirt bike, although it has a lot of similar features, which makes it really comfortable to ride because nobody's really going to bother you from my experience, and you're able to make sure others don't feel weird about you being on a bike. But yeah, we're going to be enjoying ourselves on this trail for the rest of the ride. Here's an example of what the Surron does best. It's able to be fun wherever you are, whether it's a huge grassy field, whether it's on the road. It's nice because you have that big amount of power from the 48-volt battery and that big powerful motor. Right now I'm riding around without any hesitation or loss of traction thanks to those knobby tires. It makes the riding experience just so much fun. Okay guys, now we're going to be testing out the acceleration from a dead stop. Right now the bike's in sport mode, and I apologize for my terrible angling in this video. It'll be better next time, but we're going to be hitting, I would say, about 45 miles per hour from what I remember. The bike does a really good job at picking up even after 30 miles per hour, and it ends up topping out close to 50 depending on rider weight, charge level, and conditions. But honestly, it's super close to a motorcycle and really far from a bike, so you can get yourself in a lot of trouble if you're not careful on one of these. And we will be coming to a nice and easy stop thanks to that regenerative braking and the nice big brake rotors up front and in the back. And I'm going to do my best to show you guys the top end that I was able to get, but it doesn't seem like we can focus on that. From what I remember, it was 45 miles per hour. But thanks for tuning in, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. So my overall impressions after those rides, this bike is really capable and nothing like an electric bike. I would call it more of a dirt bike. And purposely, I took you guys through this area to make sure you guys could see the bounciness of the fork and the suspension. And obviously, it's handling it pretty well. And as of right now, we rode about 2 miles. Our battery percentage barely dropped down. I think we were at 80. And I did ride in sport mode most of the time. But I did want to touch, when we saw the people pull. I put it into regular eco mode, that way the bike's more controllable and predictable, and you can comfortably ride around without putting yourself or others at risk. Hope you guys liked this video. Tune in for the next one. Like always, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Take care.